But joining us this morning to give more light to this particular issue, we know that the remapping issue came on board during the immediate past administration of former Governor Obolo, and that dust hasn't settled yet. Joining us this morning on set to talk about this and more is Sunday Uko Afiko Esquire. He is a legal practitioner and a financial secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, UYO. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Serious issues we're going to be discussing this morning. Eastern Obolo, PIA. If you want to even look at the reason why we are having all of these issues in terms of the remapping, it's what we consider as the Petroleum Industry Act.
Yeah.
There's oil in Eastern Obolo, or let's say natural resources. And for the people of Eastern Obolo, that community, they are like, if we do a remapping, that means government is trying to take what belongs to us and give to some other community. And that's why we are having this conversation that we are having. But just give us like give us an insight to exactly the stance of the people of the community and the stance of government.
Well, what we have as for the community's position is that the government don't have the power to cede our lands to anybody. We came to where we are today, and it's not just Eastern Obolo, it cuts across Eastern Obolo, Ibom, and Mbo. These are three local governments. We share contiguous boundaries, and we share boundary with the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the idea of Akwa Ibom state government coming up, which is, I always say, it's not the EBBO project. It is just the project of few greedy persons. And when you say mapping of Akwa Ibom, it's not. It is the mapping of Eket Senatorial District. Because the map in any way does not affect any other part of Akwa Ibom state.
Okay.
First, it is discrimination, and it's against the law for you to even make law targeted against a particular group of people.
Now, does Akwa Ibom state have a map of its own?
Akwa Ibom state have a valid map, which has been. That same map in 2005 was tendered in the Supreme Court between AG Cross River State and AG Akwa Ibom State. So they tendered that map. It was the same map they used some time ago in 2009 in AG River State and AG Akwa Ibom State, which they got several oil wells. This map, the certified true copies are in the Supreme Court. Also, the Surveyor General of Federation have issued us with a certified true copy of Akwa Ibom State map, showing that Akwa Ibom State have a map. What happened is that some few greedy persons just feel that they can use the powers because they are in government, as it then was, to alter boundaries and give favor to their local government of origin.
Now, why do you think that the immediate past administration, of course led by former Governor Obolo, is very particular about remapping this particular area that we are talking about this morning?
Because there's no more secret about it. Because of the PIA. Now, when you look at it, the state government have been using resources from oil to develop the state. You go to Eastern Obolo, it's an eyesore. I wish that your TV station can move around Eastern Obolo. Majority of the proceeds of oil comes from the offshore and the onshore, which we have all of this in Eastern Obolo. We've not got development in our place. We have terrible roads. We have abandoned government projects, no government presence. The medical center in Eastern Obolo is not working.
But you have representatives.
We have
at different levels of government.
We have representatives, but who calls the shot is the state government.
But we also see the fact that, some paramount rulers and monarchs, like in that whole Eket region, have said that the move to remap the state, like you said, it's majorly a move to have remapped Eket, as it were, is one way to end communal clashes in Akwa Ibom state. So what would you say, when you see it's more like royal fathers selling out the people for what the government is bringing?
Well, what the royal fathers are, they're speaking from biased position. If they were not the beneficiaries, would they say so? The point is, I expected royal fathers to advise the younger ones very well. But the royal fathers we have these days are persons, first, who are never entitled to be in that position because they got there because they could influence the system to get it. And when you see a royal father who knows, they were supposed to be the custodian of custom and tradition and truth. I was born by a traditional ruler. My father was the pioneer clan head of my clan. So I know when my father believes that the truth will always win. No matter how much it is not in his favor, he will speak the truth. These were royal fathers. The crops of persons we have today speak because they are eating.
Okay, so part of the reasons that we have is the Udom Emmanuel-led administration had moved to do this remapping, but we don't even know the progress with regard to that, conversation. Has there been times where the state government has moved equipment and conversations and paperwork to say this remapping is done? Why I'm asking this question from this angle is, in recent times, we've begun to hear that there's a lot of communal clashes. People are allegedly being killed in the borderlines of these different communities. So I am saying, did the state government make the move to go further into remapping, and why are the tales of killings?
Well, what happened is that the state government surreptitiously tried to remap the place after they passed the law. The law came on sometimes in 2021. We went to court. We got a judgment against the state, which they never appealed. They abandoned it, so to say, and then got us to support their candidate of choice. We all played the party politics and supported PDP. After the election on 4th of April, they woke up, passed a bill. The bill had the first and second reading the same day. That was an holiday. Then fixed public hearing on 11, which was after the Easter. On 11, they had a kind of a fast, which they call public hearing, as if it was a panel calling people to come and talk history of what they have, how long they've occupied certain territories. I was there myself. They made some presentations. We went there. We stated our position first, that there's a court order stopping this whole process. We submitted our position and left. The House compiled a report, which the said report was just repetition of what the other guys presented. And on that, on 12, the law was passed by the House. On 13, the map came out, meaning that the map was already prepared ab initio. The law says that it was to empower the Surveyor General to go do remapping. So will the Surveyor General have done the remapping overnight? And the law was signed by Udom on 20th, and the map was also signed on 20th, the same day, showing that all these things were prepared and kept.
So but that shows us that there's a lot of gap in that whole process.
First, that was the most horridly passed law, and this is a law that affects like the interests of several communities. And then you rushed and do it in such a hasty manner. Why they rushed about it?
Now, I asked the question, and I was expecting, deep analysis on that. When you say that all of this is happening because of greed, we begin to ask questions. What is the real interest of the past administration in this particular remapping? Let's know.
Okay, the real interest of the government of Akwa Ibom State is that over time, government have been receiving proceeds of the oil and gas from the oil and gas sector, which accrue from this area. They use it for their benefit to develop. If you go to now, we now have several dual carriage roads. Okay. We don't have a single road throughout the administration of Udom Emmanuel.
In which senatorial district are you talking about?
Which is Eke senatorial district. Now, when the PIA was passed by the president, now giving host community direct access to this fund to manage at least 3% from the proceeds of oil and gas. Yeah. Now that was where the issue of host community became a serious issue. They now want to make everybody who lives close to the Atlantic Ocean host community, thereby cutting across not just a portion of land. If we were talking about people taking an empty forest, it would have been better. But these are communities where people had buried their fathers.
Ancestral
homes that you want to cut across to get access to the Atlantic Ocean. In fact, as we speak, my local government headquarters has been cut off. So I'm wondering if they will go ask the National Assembly to amend the Constitution, so that, because you can't alter a local government as such. If once you alter it, subsection 5 of section 8 sub 5 says that you have to make returns to the National Assembly to correct the name of that place, because every local government and their headquarters is listed in the Constitution.
Okay. Now, we are asked a very pertinent question, but before we even look at why we are having clashes between communities. What is the stance and the position of the boundary commission? Because I know that whatever we are doing, there is going to be some kinds of alliances with the boundary commission to come and begin to set the boundaries right.
Well, the good part is that yesterday I heard the National Boundaries Commission filed their papers in court, and they said that the state government does not have power to do what they are doing. It is the National Boundary Commission that can do this if need be. And that was why the Surveyor General issued us with a map when the state claims that they have no map. The Surveyor General of Federation, who is a party in the case in court, issued us with a certified true copy of the map of the state. So the National Boundary Commission position is that I'm not holding brief for them, but from what they filed in court, which I had the privilege of having a copy, they said the state does not have powers to do what they are doing.
So the state government is on an illegal move against its own citizens.
Its own citizens.
So
well, let me put it correct. The state government wished, as are those who had the power of the state then, thinks they can use the instrumentality of the state to do whatever they want, thereby passing a discriminative and offensive law against a particular people. And Section 42 of the Constitution makes it very clear: you cannot pass a law or do any act which favors a particular ethnic group against the other.
So, still getting back to that conversation now, why are we having the fighting? Because sometimes, like you've clearly said, even by the Constitution, sometimes we make policies, but then it's the common Nigerians that suffer. Now, one brother is taking a machete against the other one because the state government wants to move their land boundaries. What exactly is happening on the home front, as you've heard so far?
Well, our youth had protested against the remapping. You took several steps to ensure that no surveyor or whoever comes into the place to carry out the remapping exercise, because they've drawn what they've drawn, but they don't have a coordinate. They need to come down to the place and get the coordinate. That was why we said that there was nobody, our youth carry out those protests. Now the issue of crisis is that the Ikorobasi people go, as we speak, are attacking Obolo people, whether you are from River State as an Andoni man or you're from Ibom or Imbu. All of this, much as they tag you as Obolo persons, they have gone to several houses in Ete, mostly Ete, to attack and destroy houses, and they got some persons in that process, and they were macheting them, piecing them as if they were a piece of meat.
So these are verified things
happening. I have the names of the two persons in that video where they were cutting like some piece of cake.
So what's the place of the state police force with this? Because
the security agencies.
Yes, security agencies in the states.
I don't know. I don't know why the government have not done anything towards, because I believe the governor made a statement meaning he has seen the picture. He has seen that particular video. So I can't even watch that video because it's horrible. You see,
because we are also very particular in terms of not sending out fake reports.
Exactly.
Here we know that we heard of a particular video that was trending, but the veracity of that video is what we do not know at the moment. So if you as a person from that locality will sit here and say that those videos or that particular video is true, then it's quite worrisome.
Those videos are true. Those guys were speaking Ibibio. Those guys were calling that whoever, whether they are gods or the dead ones, should bring more. They said Benobodumdi, like bring the Obolo people so that we will kill them more. So they were making libations. If you watch the video, there are clear facts that they were speaking Ibibio.
And this is traced back to the issue of attempting to remap their land.
It is traced back to these are the Ikorok and Odo people. The truth is, there has been
that the remapping is going to favor.
Yes,
the people that the remapping is going to favor are those fighting against those who already have the map in their favor.
No, those that the map is going to favor are the ones who feels that our people had no right to protest against the remapping. Now, the issues between the Korok and Odo and Amazaba community, these people, the Amazaba people, have been on exile for the past 15 years. And every effort to resettle them by the previous administration, which they never had so much political will to do, Because I don't see why government delegation will be going on a mission and then some group of guys will attack the government delegation and they will run back. And the local government chairman of Ikorobasi came out and said that they never asked the Amazaba people to return to their home. They were only asking government to come and see the land. So you understand? So there was issue between those areas. And then that escalated. Whoever, and I always tell people that someone who has been on exile for the past 14 years or so cannot be the one attacking your people. Where did they come from to attack? Their villages have been burnt. It's a fallow land. It's a bush. They don't have anywhere they are living. So maybe the Kokpanoro people, to get the government to be on their part, went and destroyed few of their properties. And then thereafter, find a reason to begin to go after. It's as bad that they've been going from hotels to hotels within Badenin to look for people from Eastern Obolo to kill.
So these are very strong, assertions that you're making. True. And right now, we personally cannot back that up. But we needed to have this conversation because there's so many speculations around there of an, intrastate crisis going on because of the remapping of the state. But time would not even allow us because we need to know the place of the traditional rulers, paramount rulers, and the state government in making sure that this does not escalate in the state. You are a strong, player in all of this conversation from the end of the law and as a youth from that area of town. Is there a possibility that, you can stand in the gap, reach out in terms of writing now to, the leaders, the traditional rulers of your climb, and then the state government to see how they can visit this?
Well, over time, not just because of this, I've been an advocate for peace. I was born by an Ibibio woman, so whichever you see is that the two sides are my people. I've had more affinity with my mother place. I've grown up over time relating with them so well. So if there's a conflict as such, it will affect me. And over time, we've been trying to see how we talk to some person. I had spoken with some of my friends who are lawyers from Ikorobasi. We are all lawyers. We attend court in these places. This is where we work. Now as we speak, we can't go to court in that area. So why not we, the lawyers, sit down and brainstorm on the possible way we can avert this issue? Before this issue of remapping came up this way, I raised it in the NBA meeting. I said that we as lawyers, we have to give direction. We can't be complete. We can't just keep quiet over this issue and allow these things to go on, that it may get to this point. That was my warning. And up to today now, this is where we are. But however, I will try my best. My paramount ruler is willing to talk peace. I know that I'm not holding his brief for him, but I've spoken with him severally on this. He's ready for peace. The people of Amazaba community, they are ready for peace. At least I had the privilege of marrying from there, and I can at least advise them. They are ready for peace. The only people that I don't know their state of mind is the Ikorok people who, over the years, had refused peace to reign.
And I think at this point, we'll also ask government. I know that this happened, this issue was brought up in the immediate past administration. We don't know how Governor Omoino is going to be taking the matter, but we also hope that whatever government is doing will be to the benefit of all those in question. But we want to say a very big thank you to you for coming on the show this morning. It's been great pleasure talking to you. Sunday Uko Afiko Esquire, a legal practitioner and financial secretary, Nigerian Bar Association. Uyo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right.